welcome to our special program as we're counting down towards the general elections on May 14th. And we will see you every Wednesday night on Thai PBS World. I'm Nat Woodnack.
I'm Tulip Nak Sompopla, and we can say the election season has started.
Definitely.
Officially on Monday when they open for the registration for the district member parliament candidates. We see like cheering crowds, like a sports day kind of.
Exactly. It was really exciting to see all of these supporters coming out to cheer on for their favorite parties and the prime ministerial candidates, because on Monday and Tuesday, the first day was for constituency MPs, and for the second day is actually the biggest one, which is the prime ministerial candidates and the party-list MPs. The vibes are so exciting and bustling at the same time. So we can expect that the elections this year will definitely be very exciting.
Well, hopefully that dynamic, that atmosphere will carry on until the election day on the 17th, 14th
in May. It's May 14th,
yes,
on
14th
Sunday. So yesterday, many political parties turned up at the registration venue to submit their party list candidates, and the biggest highlight of yesterday was the draw. So the draw is where they actually find out which numbers that they will get for the party list candidates, and this is when people will actually know who to vote for and which number. So many party leaders went to Bangkok City Hall in Din Dang district yesterday morning to draw the numbers for party list candidates, as well as to submit party list candidate names to the Election Commission. So we can give you a recap as to which number each party got. The numbers that we're going to show you, it's for major political parties which are deemed to be top contenders. So we'll begin with the United Thai Nation Party. They got number 22, while the main opposition party got Pheu Thai got number 29, Palang Pracharat got number 37, Move For Party got number 31, the Democrat Party got number 26, while Phum Jai Thai Party surprisingly got number 7. And apparently Phum Jai Thai is the only major party that got a single digit, as most of the parties that got single digits are mostly smaller or lesser known parties. And as you can see right now, most of the main top contenders actually got double digits. And other parties such as Chhat Pathana Kla got number 14, Chhat Thai Pathana got number 18, Thai Sang Thai got number 32, and Seri Rom Thai got number 25. So these are the numbers for the main political parties that will be contesting in the general elections. But as for the party list MPs, the Election Commission reported that on the first day of the registrations for PM candidates and party list MPs, a total of 1,670 candidates from 54 parties were submitted yesterday. And according to the election law, each party is allowed to submit up to 100 party list candidates, which is equal to the number of party list MPs in the 500-seat House of Representatives. The other 400 are the constituency MPs. So most of the parties submitted up to 100 party list candidates, such as United Thai Nation Party, Pheu Thai Party. The main candidates, the main parties are actually submitting all 100, while the other parties might submit up to 39 candidates, 87 candidates. It depends on each party actually, but most of them actually expect to get at least half of them in the parliament.
I think one of the, I would say, colorful part of yesterday was the number drawing things, because before it happened, you ask every party, they said they want single digit.
Exactly.
But funny enough, most of them, like you reported, got 2 digits.
2 digits is something that many people may not expect at the beginning, because like you said, everyone wants single digits because it's a lot easier to remember. But sometimes the double digits can be a lucky number as well, depend on how they actually perceive it too.
Yeah, I think in this matter and other matter that involve the election, we're going to talk to Dr. Chetonawani, who is sitting in with us today, giving us some time, and I think you might see it differently. Because I mean, like asking them, they want single digit, but at the end, whatever number assigned to them, they cannot say no. They have to take it anyway. So, what do you think? The way they see it, they think double digit is good. They think single digit is good. But from your point of view,
well, if the number was assigned, then they might be having some problem.
right?
Right.
They might be arguing that it was not fair. But the number was drawn. Okay, they picked the number themselves, so they cannot blame it on someone else, or
Only
they
their
cannot blame
luck.
it on the system. It's their own luck. Whether they see it's a bad luck or it's a good luck,
Right.
or whatever sort of luck that they see. Okay, but they were the one who picked it. Okay, it was drawn out from that
Right.
box. But in terms of the digit, yes, of course, if you look at the digit itself, the one digit, okay, single digit, of course, is easier than the double digit. But there is one party, at least to me, that the digit, which is actually numerical, okay, it's about number,
Right.
turn out to be verbal.
Right.
It can be put in words, the simplest, maybe to the Thai audience. Okay?
Right.
For the foreign audience, you might have to use Google to help you. Okay?
Or maybe use Google to reinterpret the numbers,
Yes, that's right.
So
number
you-
2 and number 9.
Right.
Number 2 and number 9 can be 2 steps.
Because it says 29, right?
Okay, in Thai, 29, 2 steps. Okay. The other 2 digits, you have to say 22, like 22. Okay, or 22, which is harder. Okay, 31, or 14, 14, whatever. Okay. Only this 29, you can put it into words.
Well, you have
A
to tell
simple
them,
word.
so
Okay.
so now they know
And
that
then
the number
when
they
you-
got is actually
That's right.
can be pretty good.
That's right. And you see, when you couple this, okay, with the number from the constituency, you can just tell them 229. 829 you see 1929 the 29 can be put verbally or in words and they
Right.
don't have to memorize the number and they will not be confusing the 2 numbers okay, the number in the constituency and the number in the party list.
Because it's
For
kind
the
of
other,
linked.
it's kind of linked and
Right.
you can, as I said, you can link the word
Right.
and the number 291 290 298 like that. Okay, you can
depends on how-
say
right.
2 step 8, 2 step 4, 2 step 10, 2 step 13. You don't have to remember the number for the party. You just say 2 step, even for the foreign audience. If you can say 2 step, let's say for example one party, which is Pheu Thai, can tell you, okay, 2 step is my party. 2 step 18, 2 step 4, 2 step 10. You only remember 2 step, that's me.
Right.
Okay. But for the other party, you have to remember 22, 22, that's me. And then in the constituency,
Different
the other,
number.
right, in
Right.
one district, it was 18. Then you have to remember 22, 22, 18, 2218, whatever.
So it all depends on the strategy
It's
when
on
you
the strategy,
talk
but-
about the
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, I think strategy is one thing, but it turned out to be, at least to me, I think it turned out to be a good luck for the 2 digits as per Thai. Because the number came down to be a very nice word and very simple. Just like I said, I put it in English, 2 steps. 2 steps 18, 2 steps 20. Put it in Thai,
Right.
295, 298, 2920. But for the other party, for 2 digits,
They have to find way to
they
make
have
it
to find
work.
way, even for the 1 digit, okay, it's still a number, 75, 720, right? 718, 74, 710. There's still 2 numbers. Okay? You have to nail something down
Right.
to something fixed. Then the other variations will be lessened.
What do you
Okay,
think though?
especially in terms of the difficulty for the memory to memorize. At least to me, I think that people all around the country, I don't look down on them and I praise them very much, which might not be good in terms of comparing to lottery. Okay, because when you compare it to lottery, especially lottery that we say it's underground. Okay?
Right.
Because have you ever seen how they have to write down, how they have to memorize each number. The two last digits of the first prize, the two first digits of the first prize, the three last digits of the first prize, the three first digit of the first prize, the two digit that will come out as a prize, the three-digit prize, so all these things. They remember almost everything.
I'm going to ask you though, but it used to be that the party list and the candidate district used to get all the same number, right?
Yes, it was mistaken by the parliament itself.
So you don't think that works? You think this is better?
Of course it worked. It totally worked.
It totally worked for election campaign.
It worked greatly. But the problem was that, you see, our constitution of 2017, when it was first written for an electoral system called the mixed member apportionment, which has only one ballot.
Right.
Right. For the one ballot, it was the constituency that counted. Okay. The party list will be drawing the numbers or drawing the popularity from each of the constituency, each of the districts.
Right.
Okay.
Like
So
in percentage,
that's
which
in
one?
percentage thing.
Right.
So it was written in the constitution that once you enroll for the candidate in the constituency, then your party list will be next. Okay. Now the system has changed, but the parliament did not change this wordings of the law. Therefore, that wordings of the law is still constitutional. Once it's in the constitution, you will have to follow the constitution. No other laws can be in discrepancy with the constitution. Okay, you have to be in line with the constitution. Therefore, you have to run for the constituency first and then the party list. This was a problem because, you see, therefore the election commission said on the 3rd of April, you come for the constituencies. On the 4th, you come for the party list because the constitution said so. It's your mistake. Many people told them what they should have done when they were amending the constitution. But
they spend time fixing other
they
things.
spend time fixing things that shouldn't have been fixed.
But then this has been discussed too as well, I remember in the parliament, because there's a lot of the politicians or member of parliaments that doesn't agree with the current system.
Of course. See, you can agree or you can disagree, but it has to be constitutional.
Right.
And the constitution said that constituency first and then party list. What can you do? Why don't you take this out? You didn't take it out.
But if you ask any political parties, they're not going to say this is the first thing they will do if they get into the parliament.
Of course.
They're probably going to forget about it.
You see, I told the whole world that the one word that I've never heard from any politician, any parliamentarian, sorry, we made a mistake.
That's true.
I never heard that. And you see, when about 30 people were drafting the Constitution
Is it cultural thing?
I don't know. When the Constitution came out, okay, the politician, like hundreds of them, the Constitution was not good. It was not written in a very fine way that it was supposed to be written. All the complaints, okay, but 700 people in Parliament wrote Constitution, and not the whole Constitution, just several provisions. They made mistake, and they never came out to say, sorry, we made a mistake.
It's more like they fixed bits and pieces, but not the whole thing.
Not the whole thing.
Right, but there's one question. So when it comes to electing a prime minister, okay, it might be a bit too far away, but 500 MPs will be elected through this election.
Yes.
And then when it comes to the Senate, there are 250 people.
Yes,
and then we elect a prime minister from that. So it's both sides and then electing a prime minister. But what happens with the Senate though? Because most of the Senate at the moment are elected by General Prayut.
They're like appointed.
Yeah, they say appointed,
Selected.
but what
Yeah.
they want. The thing is, these would it be the same?
It
Senate?
used to be they have to went through election as well, right?
Under the 1997 Constitution.
Right.
Okay, but for the 2007 Constitution that has changed, it was half-half. Partially elected, partially appointed.
And now
Yeah.
all appointed.
Now, well, not really. Part of it came through what we call an indirect election. Okay, under Article 107 of the Constitution. It goes this way. It goes through the municipal. Okay, from the municipal level, it comes to the provincial level. After the provincial level, it came to the national level. Okay, 200 people came out of that. And the NCPO, the former coup,
Right.
okay, picked 50 out of those 200. Okay, so this can be said to be partially indirectly elected. Okay, people said that within all the senators, we have about 4 types of senators. Prawit's type, okay. Prayut's type,
Okay.
Anupong's type, and the whatever type.
What?
The
Okay.
whatever type, well, where does
Wait,
that come
and
from?
how, but
The
how,
whatever
but how,
type is
how are
like-
they different though? Pravit type, Prayut type, and Anupong type.
They're all
Pravit
from the
chose them.
military.
Prawit chose them.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, that
this,
makes
this
sense
came
now.
through Brother Pom.
Right.
Okay. พี่ป้อมครับ or hey น้อง you be senator for me, okay?
Right.
Okay. The rest of the 3 is just the same thing. Okay. Comes through them. That means it's their quota. Okay. Let's
Right,
put it
right,
that way.
right,
It's their
right.
quota. Okay. The 4th one, the whatever, means out of the 200 all around the country, right? The 50 that were picked, we don't know why they were picked. Therefore, they were the whatever. For example, General Prawit picked them. General Prayut picked them. General Anupong picked them. Or someone said, พี่ป้อมเอาคนนี้หน่อยนะพี่
Okay.
Okay. And maybe there can be some others that people said, เฮ้ยเอาคนนี้เข้ามาหน่อยพี่
It
Okay.
doesn't mean they're not qualified to be senator. It's more like the process of having them becoming the senator that's make a lot
Yeah.
of people not
Let's put
really
it this
happy
way.
about it.
To be fair to them, I've worked with many of them, okay, throughout this time. I think most of them are qualified, okay, to be senator. However, we have to distinguish between the quality and the process.
Right.
They of course have the quality, okay, but the process in which they became senators, the procedure in which brought them here is incorrect, illegitimate. Okay, so the legitimacy is not there. Therefore, they can be said not to be a rightful Senate. Okay,
Right.
when they're not the rightful Senate, bundling with the question, the additional question that was asked during the time of the referendum of the Constitution draft. It was asked that, okay, within the first 5 years of the senators, would you want them to also elect the prime minister in order, okay, there's a condition, in order to reform the country.
Right, in order-
You go look at the question, in order to reform the country. I have been a reform committee, okay, first on anti-graft, anti-corruption, then on political reform for 5 years, ever since they were appointing the reform committee. Until now, our terms end. I didn't see any reform.
True. There was a lot of
so if you were
advertisement.
saying that the senators were there in order to elect the prime minister to reform the country, where's the reform?
Well, there was a lot of advertisement about the
And-
reform to happen, but like you said,
As far
never.
as I know, the reform plan has been settled, or it is, I don't know, it has been seized, or it's been finished, or it's no longer there for
Yeah,
whatever
because
reason.
at first of this administration, they have the reform committee,
Yes,
right?
yes.
On
Now
the
we don't have the reform
on the media, on the education, and many other
Yeah.
things.
Now we
It's
don't
like
have those
they
people.
have to draft the plan for what not, but then the plan is there. The plans are there.
The plans are there.
But no one executes it.
So if that's the reason for the senators to elect the prime minister, where is that reason now? And why would the senators be able to once again unconditionally elect the prime minister? Because they were given this position conditionally.
Let me come back to you again. Last time we were sitting in the studio talking about the term of General Prayut for 2 years, so he have 2 years left. And we were talking about, there is a term called sitting duck. That he's like a sitting duck, he has only 2 years. Do you think he's still appealing to voter this time round, even though he has only 2 years?
I think so. To the voter that
To the loyal voters. and all.
that's right. That will be blind, will be deaf for anyone else. Okay, they just have their eye and their ears for General Prayut. Okay,
Right.
yes, of course. To the other voters, especially the more reasonable ones, I don't think General Prayut is appealing to them or is attractive to them overall. However, for the general himself, I think he paved his way to pull back. For not being in the party list, I think that's one.
Okay.
For saying,
But what do you mean by pullback though?
well, now he's standing here, right? As to be a prime minister. If, let's say, he has 24 MP, which means that it's unconstitutional for his name to be proposed in parliament in order for him to be voted prime minister. Then he said, okay, no longer, I'm not here because I'm not MP, right? I'm not member of the parliament, I'm nothing.
So he can just walk out scot-free,
Yeah.
is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
that's why many people said he's, in terms of coming in fully fledged, he doesn't have that.
Right.
Okay. In terms of the sincerity, people said that he's not really sincere, especially to the voters.
He's still saying that he doesn't want to be the prime minister.
Then go back home.
He still said that not
Sit,
too long
relax.
ago.
Okay.
It's just I don't know.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
just think it's
But the second pullback is that he said, oh, the reason that Kun Pirapan is number one on party list is because he's going to be prime minister. I want him to be prime minister. There can be three sort of things.
Right.
Okay, three sort of type. Him to be prime minister. Means from the beginning.
But,
Yeah.
but when the senators are mostly appointed by General Prayut to begin with, so,
Actually, General Witt.
oh, the military, let's say.
Okay.
So, what was going to say, I forgot. Anyway, how possible is it for either General Prayut to stay in power for at least another 2 years or actually nominate General Prayut to become prime minister? How possible is that, considering the senators are mostly appointed by the military, even with the election coming up?
Yes. I think the higher possibility is on General Prayut. The reason was because this whole world only knows, okay, that General Prayut was sitting at the table. No one else was known to be sitting on the table.
Right.
So maybe it was just only that guy. Okay.
But do you think Palang Pracharat and Thai United Nation Party really that appealing to the voters this time? I mean, Pheu Thai keeps saying we want landslide, but then they talk about policy and whatnot. And I just feel like Thai United Nation,
United Thai Nation.
United Thai Nation, I just feel like their party single selling point is Prayut Chan-o-cha.
I think that's one part of it. Maybe that's the major part of it, but not really the whole. Okay, they of course have some good policies. They of course have some good people, and they have some experienced politicians, of course. But maybe those are minor. Okay, let's say General Prayut might be like 3/4, and the other 1/4, which is very minimal. So they have to work their way through. They have to try to at least increase the other attraction.
Right.
Okay. They can't just have General Prayut because the guy is not really attractive. Okay. So
He's been in power for 8 years
he's been
already.
His cheering crowd would say a lot of things in Thailand happening because he has been prime minister for 8
That's right.
years. I heard that with my own ears.
Let's say that, like Kunat was saying, take the reality, okay, not the technicality. He's been in power. He's been prime minister for more than 8 years. Take the technicality, yes?
Yep.
Whatever you say, the constitution was enforced, whatever, so on and so forth. But the reality is that he has been prime minister for more than 8 years already, okay? So whatever he has done, or whatever he vowed that he can be doing, it's up to the people.
Right.
So let's say this, to be fair to everyone, to all the parties, the popularity given to each of the party, to each politician, each person, is still their popularity. Okay, the number can be high, can be low, whatever. But how much can each of the party gain from the swing voters? Because the swing voters, particularly the swing voters that will swing over from conservative to liberal, liberal to conservative. Okay, if you have the swing voters, which will swing from one conservative party to the other conservative party, one liberal party to another liberal party, that is still a minor swing. Okay, but if they swing across side from liberal, okay, from liberal to conservative, conservative to liberal, it's a high swing.
But I would say liberal in Thailand are not that liberal either.
Yeah, of course, but they don't even care. They don't even call themselves liberal. They call themselves democracy, democratic.
But which is also not the right term to call themselves because everybody is democratic under this process.
Of course, and even you see, there was once a coup was staged, and that coup called themselves democratic coup. Okay, so it doesn't mean anything for word democracy in this country. So let's say, how much can you draw the popularity from this pawn? When people were saying that you are baiting from your neighbor's pawn, okay, it's still in each of the popularity of each of the party, right? But how much can you draw from this 40%?
The swing?
The swing votes. The swing voters is quite high, okay?
So when we're speaking of swing voters, in your perspective, which generation are most likely to be swing voters? Because when we think of the eligible voters, which we have more than about 5 million, which generation would be most likely to swing votes the most? Like Gen X, Gen Y, first-time voters, or which group?
I think it could be Gen X. Okay, let's say if we put in age,
Yep.
from 30 to 60, these are the most swing voters. Okay, and the numbers of people in this range is quite high.
And they are the one that facing economic problems.
Yeah, that's right, of course.
There's the one that have to pay tax. They're the one that have to raise kids and also take care of their parents.
Yeah, the baby boomer tends not to come out or tends to choose whoever they think they want to choose. Okay, for whatever policy, they don't care much about policy. Okay, they don't care about who's liberal, who's conservative. They only think, okay, I'm electing General Prayut, I'm electing whoever represents Kun Thaksin. So we don't really count the swing voters from them. Okay?
Right.
But yes, the responsible people to especially make money, they will have to care so much. They will have to look into, I think, the overall picture. They might have to even think that, okay, if it has to come across from liberal and conservative to join in order to make this good coalition, let's say between Pheu Thai and Palang Pracharat, and because Pheu Thai might have like the highest number. However, if Pheu Thai gets everything, the highest number, all the ministers that are good in positions and all these things, and get the prime minister, oh no, that's too much. Then Palang Pracharat gets the prime minister post, or Phum Chai Thai, things like that. They might even say, okay, fine, because what? They don't want, once again, if Pheu Thai with Cao Khai became the
government coalition
party, okay, what will the military say? The military might say, oh, no way, you're taking away monarchy. So we won't have you. We're coming out.
But if it's a democratic process, whoever the people choose should be the one that run the government, right?
Yeah.
Talking
when
about,
you talk to them, it would be like talk to the hand.
talking about the landslide that Pheu Thai tried to get, from your point of view, what is the possibility though? It's not easy.
I think at this point, okay, the highest possibility that people were saying is that, of course, Pheu Thai number one.
Right.
But the chance for Pheu Thai to indeed
become single party government,
not that high.
Okay. So that also includes winning landslide victory as well?
Only Pheu Thai thinks that they will win landslide. No one else.
Well, think or not, they just have to try to make it happen.
They just have to try. I think the possible attempt for them, and they have to seriously endeavoring to do this, is more than 250. Because if they can nail down more than 250, at least they have the majority, and then they can lure others to come join.
And you think, what is the possibility?
I think Pheu Thai and Cao Khai together with Seri Rwam Thai
They have to hold hands,
together.
right?
If they hold hands, I presume that they may get about 260 to 280.
But you can say that lately, Move Forward and Pheu Thai are not really on the same page in many issues.
Of course, because they're competitors.
Right.
Especially for the youngsters, they're competitors, they're direct competitors. Okay. And I think Pheu Thai didn't want to go too far, especially in terms of the reform of the monarchy. I think Pheu Thai still feel that this land is the motherland. Even Kun Thaksin is now talking about coming back to the country, okay, taking care of his grandson, grandkids, all these things. I think Kun Thaksin also want to tell people that this is his last resort, last land. So if they still want to live in this country, then they have to think in terms of the majority of this country, the tradition of this country, the culture of this country. If they cannot buy in, I think they're off a problem.
But the United Thai Nation Party also felt that they will win by a single party as well. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, feeling it or not, they just have to say like they feel it, right?
Yeah.
Of course. But you have to also prove through statistic.
Right.
If you don't have the statistic to firstly help you prove something, then no one will believe that. See, at least Pheu Thai, when they were Thai Rak Thai, when they were Phalang Prachachon, they statistically win.
Right.
They statistically won. And they won in the last election.
Right.
And
But now it's all,
presumably,
but now it's all split.
people all say that they are going to win too.
Right.
Means in terms of having the highest number of member of parliament. Okay. So the statistic prove that they won. Okay. They have won and they might be still winning.
Yes, and when we talk about statistics, we cannot really use the polls as well because polls can change all the time.
Polls can change, that's right, that's right. We are talking about the real statistic, the actual result of the past elections. Okay. Poll can help somehow. Poll can also be trustworthy to a certain extent. You can't trust the poll like to a high percentage, maybe 50-50, okay? But let's say out of that 50, if it's trustworthy, only half. That half say Pheu Thai. What did the half say about?
The funny things about poll, I have been in this country this long, and none of the poll ever get to me. I never get asked. And I'm never part of
It's more
this
like
kind of
selective respondents.
That is a funny thing.
Interesting. I've never been asked by this kind of poll too.
Yeah,
I don't know
it doesn't
how
represent me.
Yeah, how
somehow.
it was randomized.
Anyway, I think we have to leave our show at that. So poll can be part of the reference, but not all. And we will come back to you every Wednesday night around 7:30 or 8 p.m. to discuss what has been happening throughout the week in the heading to the election on May 14.
And we hope you enjoyed our show tonight, and we'll see you next Wednesday night. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ